Welcome. So the practice today is just a short one, all about hopefully softening our shoulders, that tension in our neck. If you're anything like me at this time of year, you'll find yourself like bracing against the cold or bracing against the thought of forced social gatherings. And so all the softening that I can do or we can do into our shoulders and then from there into our bodies and then maybe from there just onto the earth, I feel to be really regenerative and restorative. We're going to start with a short breath practice. It's just one to bring our nervous systems into balance. It's one from the HeartMath Institute. It's called heart-focused breathing. And so you can do this with your eyes open or closed. And you're going to start by bringing your attention to the center of your chest, to your heart. If you like, you can place your hand over the area. So just rest your attention there in your heart, in the center of your chest. And then from here, imagine your breath moving in and out of your heart or chest area. Inhaling through the heart and exhaling through the heart. And see if you can start to breathe a little slower and deeper than usual. And as you can hear or see, Gus is enjoying this heart-focused energy. If you like, you can count the breaths, inhaling for the count of 5 and exhaling for the count of 5, or just pick a rhythm that suits you. And as your attention starts to settle, see if you can encourage yourself to soften, whether that's your shoulders just dropping slightly, softening away from your ears. Maybe there's room in the line between your eyebrows to soften. You could loosen your jaw ever so slightly, almost imperceptibly parting your lips. And just allow yourself to feel welcome here. Welcome in the space that you're in. Welcome in your body. And let's just continue with those heart-focused breaths for 1 minute more. Inhaling and exhaling through the heart. Okay, then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, perhaps open them. And we're just going to start moving our bodies. And really you could do it in any way that feels good to you. What I'm going to do is start rolling my shoulders. And at the same time, trying to sort of soften my neck or being aware to keep my neck soft as I move my shoulders one way. And then from here, reverse whatever direction you're going in. So now maybe rolling forwards, I was rolling backwards. And then let your shoulders find stillness. And we'll start to move our necks. So maybe bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Feel that stretch along the left-hand side of your neck. And then let's draw half moon. So bring your chin down towards your chest and roll your head over to the other side. And then back the way you've come. And you're just going to continue here, side to side, paying attention to what you're feeling in your body, whether that's in your neck. I can almost feel this stretch running all the way back down my back. Slow, steady breaths. Pausing anywhere that feels particularly sticky or feels to want a bit more attention. Wonderful. Okay. And then from here, we're going to change the movement. We're going to look slowly to the right and then to the left. And again here, just continue exploring the range of movement of your neck. Softening through the shoulders, trying not to create any extra tension. My neck's so tight it's crunching, but you probably can't hear it. And then we're going to change again. We're going to look up towards the ceiling, sort of lifting with the chin, and then down. And again, just repeating here. And just know always, if anything is starting to feel uncomfortable in your body, just stop what you're doing or amend the movement. You really, have the power to change any movements at any time that don't feel comfortable to you. Okay, from here, bring your hands to your knees. We're going to look up towards the ceiling again, and this time you're going to sort of encourage your chest forward, feel an arch through the back. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale, round the spine, bring your chin in towards your chest, curl back. And we're just going to repeat again, inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, rounding back. Just continuing here. See if you can follow the movement of your spine with your mind's eye. Notice which bits seem to move easily, and notice which parts feel like they could do with a little bit of WD-40. Okay, and then from here, doesn't matter which way you start, we're just going to start rolling in gentle circles over our hips. You can make these circles as wide or as narrow as you like. You could incorporate some of that spinal opening and closing, sort of inhaling, arching up as you come forward and rounding back. Just do what feels good to you. And then when you're ready, change direction. Okay. And then from here, hey Gus, come here. We're going to swap the cross of our legs. So it's going to feel really odd for a moment. Maybe Gus anticipated it coming. And we're going to circle again one way. And then the other. Ooh, that was my knee. Okay, then from here, let's reach both arms up, but just be aware as you're reaching up, have you crunched your shoulders in towards your neck? And if you have, just create that space, soften them away again. We're going to lean over to the right, reaching over with that left arm towards the ground, and then inhale up and exhale the other way. And you guessed it, we're just going to repeat here. Moving from side to side. As I'm reaching over, I'm really sinking my opposite hip down. So this hip is sinking heavy into the mat so I can get all that extra stretch. Okay, the next time you head to one side, bring your top arm forward and sweep it around in another half moon in front of you, following with what was your bottom arm to find the other side. And then open up towards the ceiling. So if that sounds confusing, just watch me a moment. And again, we're just going to repeat side to side. So when you're ready, join in. Okay, come up to center, reach both hands up towards the ceiling or the sky again. Sit your hips heavy, lengthen through the spine, hinge from your hips now as you fold forward over your knees, fingertips towards the floor. Don't worry if you can't fold really far forward, staying high is fine as well. I think it's a high day for me. And I'm going to just draw the crown of my head forward to the front of the room. Really feeling that length. And again, just checking, are my shoulders feeling nice and supple and soft? Then from here, let's walk our fingertips over to the right. Sitting heavy, reaching, reaching, reaching. Nice and loose through the neck. Maybe nod your head yes and gently shake it no. And then from here, creep your fingertips over to the other side. Steady, deep breaths. Okay, come back to center. Come on up. We're going to roll our shoulders again. This time, as you roll back, squeeze your shoulder blades firmly together, like I'm really working, and then release as you come around, and squeeze. And again. It's quite tender. I'm going to go for one more. And then we're going to reverse it. So I'm going to squeeze, rolling up and around and down. That feels better for me. So I'm squeezing, rolling forward and releasing. So a few more. Okay, got a few nice crunches out of that one. We're going to head onto our hands and knees here. And initially, let's just move through a few cat-cows. So most of you will probably know this movement. Taking your time, awareness along your spine, moving with the breath. And then when you're ready, reach your arms forward, keep your hips above your knees and sink your chest down towards the mat. Again, I'm just checking my neck is nice and soft here as it hangs. Some of you might be able to reach your forehead onto the mat. Feel that big old stretch through your shoulders and upper arms. And then if it's comfortable for you and for your knees, from here find child's pose. Sit bones towards heels and just soften, bring your arms sort of closer in front of you or along either side. And if that's too intense for your knees, just bring your arms in, but keep your hips above your knees. Let your head come down towards the mat. Just take a moment to settle back into your body. Notice the connection between your body and the ground beneath you. And let all the parts that you notice of your body touching the ground beneath you sink just that little bit further down. Okay, then when you're ready, come back up onto your hands and knees. I'm going to keep my right hand flat on the mat underneath my shoulder. Inhale, guide my left hand up towards the ceiling, follow my left hand with my gaze, and then exhale, thread my hand under my right armpit. I'm not going to rest here, I'm going to keep the movement going. Inhaling up and exhaling, threading through. See if you can keep your hips relatively steady and level as you move here. And then the next time you exhale under your armpit, let yourself pause there. So see if you can bring your left ear down towards the mat. Maybe you reach your right hand out in front of you, or you can bind it behind your back. Again, soft with the neck, soft with the shoulders. Let's take 2 more breaths here. We're going to do exactly the same movements, but on the other side. So left hand steady, right arm reaches up and threads through. And continue. Inhaling up, maybe exhaling as you thread through. Pelvis nice and level. And then the next time you thread through, pause there. Option to bind that top arm. Two more breaths here. And then just come back to center. We're going to slide onto our bellies into Sphinx pose. So my elbows are underneath my shoulders. See if you can look straight in front of you. If your neck is particularly tight, you might like to just look down towards the mat. For a moment here, activate through the palms of your hands and the bottom of your forearms so that you can lift away from the floor. So we're active in this pose at the moment. If you like, you could incorporate that sort of half moon head movement, bringing your ear over to one shoulder, dropping down and around, and heading back the way you've come. Or you can stay steady, so do what feels good for you. And then from here, we're going to explore a yin pose called criss-cross. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide your right hand forward, thread again your left hand under your right armpit, and then scoot your right hand over to the left hand side. That's a lot of lefts and rights. So your arms are essentially crossed in front of you with your left hand under your right armpit. And then just let your chin come to settle down, sort of on your upper arm. And then just soften your shoulders here. Allow all your upper body weight to just sink down through your arms, through your shoulders, into the ground. We're going to stay here for just 1 minute. It's a great time to check in again. Are you holding any tightness in your jaw, in that little furrow between your eyebrows, as I tend to do? Is there room for your breath to expand at all? Okay, when you're ready, we've got the joy of trying this out on the other side. So come back to center, find your Sphinx. This time, left hand slides forward, threading your right hand under, and then sweeping that left hand in front of you over to point to the right hand side, over to the other side. And again, softening your chin, your head, onto your arms. Don't worry if it doesn't reach, it can just sort of softly hang here. Allow the entire weight of your body to sink down into the earth. Can you imagine that the earth beneath you is glad to have you lying upon her? She enjoys the sensation. She likes the connection. Okay, when you're ready, let's come back up We'll push back up onto our hands and knees. And just see if you can rest back on your heels for a moment, or if that's not comfy, you might be here. Again, let's just softly roll the shoulders one way and the other. And then just take a moment to come to rest, to pause. Let's just breathe here, checking in with our bodies. Okay, we're going to finish with one last, another yin pose. It's also a restorative pose. It's a really quite a delicious one, and there's not a lot of effort involved, which is really nice too. It's called legs up the wall. The hardest part of the pose is just getting into it. And then once you're there, it's pretty delicious the whole way through. So I'm just going to scooch my mat up against the wall. And then you could use a blanket underneath your sit bones. You might like something under your head. I'm going to do this without any props. I'm going to sit up as close to the wall as I can, side on. Then I'm going to slowly lower myself down onto my mat and lift my feet up to the wall. So my sit bones are facing the wall. My feet are resting on the wall. You could do this against a door if you don't have a wall. Let yourself sort of shuffle your shoulders, shuffle your back until you feel comfortable. And then just kind of allow your legs to soften. So you could let your feet roll out slightly if you like. And let all the weight from your feet sink down into your hips, and then from your hips into the earth. And you can choose where you place your hands, whether it's sort of softly on your abdomen. You might enjoy this opening feeling of extending them out on either side of you. If you're someone that likes to sort of wriggle, you could always start circling one ankle, preferably still whilst it's leaning against the wall. And then changing directions, that circle when you're ready. And switching sides. And changing direction. And just notice how in this pose, your chest, your front body is open towards the world, towards the sky. And see if you can sort of make an effort to take a photo of or remember this feeling of openness to the world, but softness at the same time. Trying to sort of unwire that brace against the cold, brace against the forced socialization feeling. Can we remain soft even if we're not feeling 100% comfortable? And can we also know that we are wanted and welcome here? And then I'm going to leave the next option up to you. You could stay here for another 10 minutes, as long as you like, really. Or if you feel that it's time to end your practice, you might bend your knees, roll over onto your side, and then just scoot yourself along your mat so you can lie flat on your mat for an extended Shavasana. And then again, when you're ready, just pause the video or stop the video even and carry on with your day. But I'm so grateful that you joined me. Really glad to have you here and look forward to seeing you sometime soon.